What's up, guys? Adam Milstead here with Straight Yak coming to you from my home. Welcome back to the Straight Yak studio, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about some pretty basic stuff. If you're not new to fishing, if you've been out there for a while, even if you're just simply just like a tournament fisherman like me, it's probably not a video that you're going to find a lot of information on. But today is going to mark the very first video to fishing basics. It's a new playlist that I've created on my channel, so you guys can eventually go down and see everything there to help get you guys out on the water safely, effectively, and legally. Okay, so I put a lot of emphasis on legally because I'll tell you what, green pants, the Fish and Game Commission can make your day very miserable very fast if you're not following regulations. So I thought the first video in fishing basics is to basically get you guys out there fishing legally. Okay. This is going to revolve around getting your fishing license and basically how to do that. So we're going to jump into a quick intro here, real quick, and then we're going to dive into this thing. So hang on real quick. All right, guys. So here we are. We're going to talk about getting your license to go fishing. Let's say you were on YouTube, maybe you ran across Street Yak'd and you found some things that you really wanted to try out. But obviously, being safe about it, knowing how to fish, those all fall in a realm of things. But also being able to get out there and fish legally is a crucial, really important thing. And so I want this first video to be designed to get you guys to do that. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to run through real quick on the computer. We're going to start recording on this screen while I'm talking. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's super easy. So you guys shouldn't have a problem figuring this out once I show you. Okay. So just so you know, if you are generally above the age of, well, I should say 16 or above, you guys are going to need a fishing license. And a fishing license is generally in your particular state, at least here in Pennsylvania, is going to run you anywhere from $20 to $30. Of course, there's a ton of other things that you can get added to that. There's other regulations, and I'm going to use Pennsylvania as an example of what those regulations are. So you're not kind of lost and trying to figure that out. Okay. So let's get to the computer and figure this out. All right, guys. So obviously, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come in here to Google and you're going to hit PA fishing license. And what's going to pop up is obviously a list of different places to go to. I will say that if you go to this pa.gov, you won't actually be able to buy a fishing license in this particular thing or website, but you will, when you click on it, be able to see a ton of different information that is extremely useful to, again, stay legal. Okay. So before we get into actually buying the license, just real quick, I'm going to show you down here. There's a ton of different information here in the Fish and Boat Commission section. This is where you're going to find out about it could be like creel limits and things like that. So if I want to go to fishing basics, there's a ton of different stuff here, all about fishing regulations. So you go to fishing regulations and you have season sizes and creel limits. You can click on this guy. There's a ton of different programs that they do have in place. Yes, it can be kind of confusing. If you do plan on taking fish, make sure you guys follow these regulations. Okay. So common inland waters, I think this is going to be your generic majority of the state. Yes. Okay. So this is like if you were to ever buy your fishing license at a counter, which could be actually fairly easy. A lot of times they'll give you a booklet that'll give you all this information right here. Okay. And so this is obviously your if you're planning to harvest these fish, these are the regulations. Okay. So if you guys are a shad fisherman, I used to be a shad fisherman when I was living in Maryland, American. and the river herring, hickory shad, can't take them out. Okay, they're protected, but you do have all these regulations here. Let's just take, for instance, hopefully you guys don't take bass out, but if you did want to keep bass, you can come here and figure out the bass uh, length. Okay, this kind of gives you an idea of what types of bass are in the area. And so in Pennsylvania, we have a big bass program, and it's designed to try to make bigger bass. I don't know where they are, but somewhere around here they are. There's big bass, but you can see here from January 1st, I'll highlight it so you guys can see it, through April 11th, June 14th through December 31st. Okay, there's a gap there. Now, granted, minimum size 15 inches. These bass need to be 15 inches, okay, in order for you to take them home. You have 4 is your daily limit. Okay. 4 bass over 15 inches or more, you can take home. But this gap here, do not harvest. You can't catch, uh, you can only catch and release. And the reason why is because around April 12th through June 13th here in Pennsylvania, you do have the spawning generally takes place. That's where bass go in beds. They become obviously a lot easier to target and catch, and so they want to try to minimize the stress on those fish. Anyways, that's for bass. There's other stuff here, like bluegill. Generally, there's no minimum size for bluegill or crappie. You can get 50 of the combined species. Okay, so yeah, just do your due diligence, look through that thing, make sure you guys got all the information you need there. The other thing I will say, if you guys are trout fishermen, you want to be trout fishermen, there's trout fishing regulations in a very, very specific and very big on trout. Okay, here is your regions in the area that you could be fishing. Okay, so I live in the Washington County area, so this is the Southwest region. All right. And if I go there, it'll give me a list of catch and release artificial only areas. It'll give me a list of um, delayed harvest. I mean, this is why I say be careful in the trout stuff, because they love their trout here. Okay, so you can find out where to fish, where they play in the stock, all that stuff, but you will need a trout license in order to fish legally in these stocked areas. Okay, and we'll get a little bit more into that. Let's go back now, back to why you guys are here. We're going to buy a fishing license. So like I said before, you can't really buy anything on this site. I don't know why. So when you go to hit buy a fishing license, it'll take you to buy online. It'll take you to this. This is Hunt Fish PA. This is where we buy everything for our licensing. Now I'm going to go through putting in my username and password. I would suggest, if you haven't done it before, maybe create an account. Okay, just follow the steps in doing that, guy. Now, if you obviously are a resident of Pennsylvania, you would hit this resident and then make sure all your information is correct before you get into um, where you're actually going to buy everything. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go buy licenses and permits. Okay, and this is where you're going to find everything that you need to buy to be legal to fish. Okay, so obviously we're going to go here to fish, this tab. And then we are going to find the actual I guess stamps and things to buy. Okay, so first things first, if you are a resident, you're going to hit resident annual fishing license, $27.97. Okay, so just click that guy. And when you click the resident annual fishing license, it's going to give you a bunch of different options you can add. Okay, so there's voluntary, habitat, waterways, conservation. If it says voluntary, you don't need it. It's just if you want to add to the conservation, you can do that. Okay, so most people don't really need that. I did last year the voluntary bass permit only because I bass fish a lot. So you can click that guy if you want. But then obviously the annual fishing license. Oh, okay. Do not do this. Some people do this and wonder what the heck they got in the mail. If you do the annual fishing license button, it's an actual button. It's an annual fishing license button that you wear on yourself. You do not need, in Pennsylvania, you no longer need to have your fishing license exposed while you're fishing. Okay. So you don't need the license button. I don't know what that is. Um, I think it's actually just like a literally like a pin button, but who knows? But if you do plan on fishing in trout waters, areas where they're going to stock, areas where you could potentially catch trout, I do suggest that you get a trout permit. Okay. And a reason why is because let's say you're out there and you're fishing in a particular area that's stocked with trout waters, or stocked with trout, and you're fishing for bass and you're throwing your old wacky rig out there and you hook into a trout and you bring it up, you catch it. Well, if there's a game commission officer there, they can cite you for a citation because you do not have a trout stamp. So it's really important, guys, that if you do plan on fishing in trout water stocking areas, make sure you do get the trout permit. The other thing, again, Pennsylvania is very complicated. This is why I'm doing Pennsylvania. If you are planning on fishing in the Lake Erie zone, okay, or just Lake Erie in general, you will need the Lake Erie permit, okay. And so I'm not sure where the stopping point is. I do know if you're fishing tributaries of Lake Erie, you're going to need the Lake Erie permit, okay. So just basically, if you plan on fishing anywhere up there, heck, in May, it's an amazing time. Presque Isle Bay is crazy for smallmouth as they come into spawn. Get a Lake Erie permit. Okay. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you here, if you plan on doing what I do, which I get everything, trout, I get the Lake Erie. There's a combination down here, combination trout Lake Erie permit. Okay. Annually. $20.97. And I think you save a little bit money if you do the combination. So make sure you unclick these guys if you plan on getting both of them and click that. Okay. And then obviously the rest of it is voluntary if you want to get magazines. I don't know anybody who reads magazines anymore, but you can get the EPA Angler and Boater magazine, or you could donate. It's up to you. But generally, that's pretty much what I get right there. I'm going to add to cart. Voluntary bass permit annual. Sure. They got me again. All right. And so, yikes. $60. That's for me. That's because I get everything. But you generally would only need, if you don't plan on fishing for trout or in trout areas, all you really need is a resident annual fishing license if you plan to fish for bass, uh, muskie, bluegill, all that stuff. Okay, so anyways, that's it. And then obviously when you check out, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase this because I needed it anyways. Okay, so here's something new that they did put out for, I'm guessing this is just for residents. I'm not sure, but you can hit an auto renewal. Okay, which means that this just automatically renews. I'm guessing you're going to have a card on file. I don't like that. Government's got enough of our money. Let's just keep it just for this year. We're going to continue. And here we are. Now we're going to go ahead and put our information in to buy. Okay, so that's my license. And all I'm going to do is, there it is right there. So I'm just going to print this guy out and I'm just going to keep it with me. What I like to do, if you're a guy, I keep it in my wallet. And generally, if I'm fishing, I generally always have my wallet with me. The other thing you guys can do is you can actually put this on your phone and you can just take a picture of it. A lot of times that's suffice enough. If the fishing game come up and ask you for your license, you can go ahead and just show them that picture. So anyways, guys, I know that was a lot, but there's a reason why I made this video, because gets kind of there's a lot of fine lines and details in there that you guys do have to do your due diligence on being able to get yourself in order to be legal. So Anyways, guys, I think I've talked enough. You guys got the idea. Get out there, go fish. If you're brand new to fishing, if you got questions on it, please hit me up. Let me know. I will do everything I can to help you guys out. If you got any more information needed to be able to get this taken care of, at least the legal part of this, yeah, and you should be good to go. So, anyways, guys, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. But without further ado, hopefully you guys get out on the water, get yacked. Thanks for watching Straight Yak'd.